Hey guys, I am so excited. This is episode number 3 for me. And I've had a lot of fun with the first 2 guests. We were learning a little bit about what a hero's journey is. And this podcast for me is just to try and remind you that we're each the hero of our own story. We're born unique in an ordinary world, and we have to find out what makes us special. What's special about me that I can go after the things that I want. And each guest that I have on this episode hopefully can be a mentor to you or reach out to you in the middle of wherever you are. Alaska, which I've been in some crazy places in Alaska that are just, you're out there alone. I grew up in Salem, Oregon. So this is my time to share with you the guests and hope to inspire. Today, I'm really lucky to have some friends with me today that are super talented. And I can't wait to share them with you. I'm Bryan Hopkins from Elvis Monroe, and this is a Hero's Journey podcast. Over here to my left, he just gave me his new name right when we got started. It's a symbol, exactly. And he's not Prince, but he said right before we got started, "Hey, Bryan, I go by Vincent John now." And I went, "Thanks, bro." Like 2 minutes before we got on.
He was like already 2 minutes into this whole promo, and I had to make him stop it and start over again. It's so bad because I used to go by Vin A, and then when people would type in my name to look up my music, all the VIN numbers of every car in America would come up. And like the record label was like, "Dude, you need like a first name and a last name." I'm like, "Okay." But my actual last name is this long, complicated Italian last name, Adinolfi. So I just went with my first name and my middle name, so I'm sorry to confuse.
No, I love you just the same, bro. Yeah. It's all good.
The
so
artist
Vincent
formerly
John.
known as Vin A is now Vincent John.
Have you informed the IRS?
No, those are one of the few people that I'm not telling. Why do you think I changed the name?
Are you kidding me? And actually, you are in the Bronx Wanderers.
I am.
And you're a solo artist as well. And to his left and my right, or straight on, all the way from Scotland, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, Jimmy Denning, everybody, from 5 Tenors of Rock.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have you here. And for those of you at home, I'm going to have like closed caption underneath it when he speaks.
Yeah.
Because he's got this thick accent.
Freedom!
Yeah.
That's racist. Not having any of that. And in fact, I don't really speak with a Scottish accent. I speak with a Northern England accent because I left Scotland when I was like 9 years old. So,
really?
Yeah, I grew up in the north of England, so I have a Northern England accent.
When did you move there?
I was about 9. I left Scotland when I was about 9, so I had a very kind of...
When you say you left Scotland, so you basically moved from here to there. And
I literally...
Scotland.
In American terms, I went from here to Walmart.
I was going to say, because it's the same little island.
5 minutes down the road.
I like it. It's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I wanted to get into it. I want to get into how you guys came to be. We're all met here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll start with you. Like, what are you born here?
No.
Okay, where are you from?
I came out here in 2016, and I grew up in New York and New Jersey. Which that's the same thing. I was born in New York and I moved to Jersey.
Walmart.
So that's being born in Scotland and going to the UK. That's what I did. I did the same move Jimmy did. And I was there my whole life, born and raised. My grandparents are in New York and my parents were in Jersey, so I lived in both places. And my dad was a record producer for 30 years. He worked for Columbia Records. So Jim Croce's music, the Partridge Family, all that stuff, all that singer-songwriter stuff my dad did in the 70s. And in around 2000s, his bosses came in and said, "Look, we're sorry, Sony came in and bought the label." And my dad, at the age of 40, was out of a job. He didn't know what to do. And he basically took my brother and I and started a band called the Bronx Wanderers. And we basically did all the songs that he did and produced growing up. And it was basically an oldies band. And my brother went out first with the band. And my brother came home with $800 in tips one night when I wasn't there. And he was like 11 years old. And I was making $7.15 at Pizza Express, and I immediately quit the next day and said, "Quit going to do that."
Right.
And I haven't looked back since. And it's been me, my dad, my bro, and now currently it's like my 2 high school friends. And we basically came out to Las Vegas in 2016 for our residency. We started at Bally's with Wayne Newton, was pretty cool.
No
and
way.
then we moved to the Link with Matt Franco, and then we finally took Jimmy's old spot at Harrah's.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. yeah. The good thing is we opened February 3rd, 2020.
Oh,
So we were there for a good 5 weeks before the
Yeah.
pandemic hit, and then went on unemployment. So from stardom to unemployment in the same year. I'm really proud of that. Not many people can say that.
Wow.
And luckily the Westgate kind of called us out of nowhere, and we just opened there in September. So
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I see the the truck going down Las Vegas, but I've tried
My
to
marketing
chase
dollars at work.
I've tried to chase it down, and get caught in traffic. I'm like, I gotta post this and tag you in it,
Who would put this face on a truck?
Oh, come on,
Who would be
dude.
so desperate?
Come
Who would
on.
do that?
That's
That would-
amazing.
Yeah, it's
You
cool,
got the
though.
good hair too. I hate you. So I used to have good
For now.
hair. Yeah.
For
No,
now.
I had it for a little while. So dude, that's awesome. So what actually, like, you just pick up a guitar one day and start playing because your brother made tips, or did you do that?
I
the whole
always
time?
did it because my dad was the type of, Jimmy kind of has a similar childhood like me where his dad's kind of huge and famous in his own right. And my dad just had 12 guitars on his wall, and I would sneak in at the age of 7 and 8 and steal one. And
Right.
he wouldn't know it, and he'd be gone for like 2-3 months. And I'd be learning by myself. And, my brother would be playing drums on pots and pans. And, we all heard that because it sucked. And then my mom eventually was like, for Christmas, let's get this kid a drum set.
Right.
And my brother Bam became a drummer, and me, I loved guitar, and then I started going into piano, and I did all that, and it was all self-taught. At 34 years old, I wish I had lessons. When I come to Vegas and I see guys like Ben that you play with in Elvis Monroe, I mean, guys that just fly. I wish that my parents got me lessons, but
You're a lead singer though, right?
yeah, I also sing. I try.
Come on, man.
I try.
Like I say, we all have our thing, and Ben has his thing, and he's awesome, and he's the color guy, and
Yeah.
he forced me to put my guitar down, which I'm like kicking myself
And you got a
now.
great voice. I love your
Thank
voice,
you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But I'm a fan of what you're doing, and when you said Partridge Family, your dad was a part of that. I'm like, I mean, you guys are the modern day Partridge Family.
I've been on the road with them. Sometimes it's the Manson family. It's like a 50-50 thing.
Totally is. I love Jim, man. We made him like a brother to the fam, and it's been a really cool journey. And again, the reason why I found music was because my dad was in the record business. We had a lot of good years. We had a lot of bad years.
Right.
We have a year where we were living in a great neighborhood across from Puff Daddy, and then the next year I'm living in Yonkers above a deli eating cereal for dinner. We moved, I want to say, maybe 9-10 times before I was 13 years old. So music, headphones, just going away and escaping to that. Music was my escape.
The hair standing up my arms, because that's what this is about. This is about actually doing the thing that is your calling, and you do it no matter what. Like I feel like a cat, like on hot pavement kind of thing, and trying to find the next spot where everything's gonna be cool. This is who I am. This is, I lived in my car. I went to chase this. I drove to LA and saw a Gold's Gym right off the freeway, off the 170 in LA, North Hollywood. And that's where I lived in my car for 3.5 months, chasing something different. I grew up in Salem, Oregon. Baseball was all I knew. And I get hurt, and my dad was a singer, brother's a singer, uncle a singer, cousin a singer, so I grew up around it. And my mom had me listening to all the stuff your dad, was a part of, all the oldies and all that stuff. I grew up on that.
I love that.
This whole, you look at this place, it's like surrounded,
Look
with
at you now.
that.
He lived in a car. Now he lives in this office. Pretty cool, man. You're moving on up. I love it, dude.
But it's doing it because you love it.
Exactly.
And it's who you
You
are.
have to, because look at this business that we're a part of. I mean, every day I wake up and I hate a new aspect of it.
Right?
Because it's so hard. It's so hard to keep up. I mean, look at it. 60,000 songs get released every single week on Spotify.
Yep.
And look at the amazing success that you've had with Elvis Monroe. I mean,
Thank you.
It's hard to break through and do it. And Bronx Wanderers kind of pays for me to do my original stuff.
Exactly. But here's the thing, like Jimmy, it was taken away from us. We all had it. The one thing that we had, well, the whole world, everything was taken away, but some people actually their businesses got bigger and they did better.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, everything we knew.
I felt that when the whole pandemic thing happened, me personally, I was quite happy because we've been on the road for 6 or 7 years, relentless, turmoil, physically, emotionally,
Right.
financially, literally everything. And then you get a break. So the initial period was really great just to go, this is fantastic. Let's have a few weeks off. Let's have a couple of beers. Let's sit by the pool. But then you, as the artist in you, you really struggle to conform to standard life. And that doesn't mean that we're any different to anyone else. It just means that you are built in a certain way where if you're not kind of expressing yourself in an artistic manner,
Yep.
you really struggle. So what I found myself doing, because I got quite sick with COVID. So when I got better, which was several months after, maybe sort of July time,
Right.
you find yourself going, I need to do something. So me personally, I don't like write songs like you guys. I like to write, screenplays.
Awesome.
I'll write. My dad was in the television business, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But you tend to just put together pitches for ideas for shows. And actually, me and Vin have been obviously friends because we literally moved. Our stories in Vegas are so similar.
Yeah.
We literally moved, I believe, a couple of months after you guys. But we were both in the same place where you can only drink so much scotch by a pool. And as a Scottish person,
We put that to the test.
Dude,
I
I watch you guys on social media, and I'm just trying to you guys are rock stars, full on. In one day you do so much. But anyway,
I honestly, you never thought I'd ever say something like that.
Yeah.
But you can. And then we just said, why don't we try and do something? While things were not opening up with our show, The Tenors of Rock and Bronx Wanderers, and everything was closed, there was little pockets in this town and around America that were opening up ever so slightly. With conditions the way they
Right.
were, but they were opening up. And our good friend Ken Henderson over at Notoriety.
oh,
here in
love
Vegas,
him, Ken.
Said, look, I think we can do something. Let's just do something. Well, it's not for a financial reason. It's just, and we had this idea of doing this show called The Hootenanny. So we have a show called Vin and Jimmy's Hootenanny, which
Do we have a picture of that?
I
We did
believe
the
there's a
Hootenanny
picture.
photo. You can throw that up there, because Jimmy, I mean, you wear a kilt, and
I do.
and I love it. I love that I'm Native American Indian, man, and I live and breathe it. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
And I love that that's your thing.
Yeah, I've been doing it for so long.
And same with you. You're so New York,
Yeah,
East
no,
Coast, and it's
I got
awesome.
a Roman nose.
Yeah,
It's Roman all over my face.
Roman. it's badass. But I'm saying
He's got to go wide angle for me on this.
you guys have these, this stuff. It's not there because in that Hootenanny photo, you guys, you switch. You guys.
There you go.
So he wore my outfit and I wore Jimmy's outfit.
Exactly.
I thought that was hilarious.
I loved
to do.
it. I love it. Dude, it's killer. So what was it? What did you guys end up doing?
What the idea was, and we're going to return back to it, but we've both been so busy with the world reopening.
Yeah.
That the idea was that we would have a space somewhere in Vegas where we almost had a main stage with me and Vin hosting it, singing our way through it, doing some goofy things, just literally just kind of being ourselves, but with an audience.
Right.
And then having guests on, but guests, rather than having a rock night or a soul night or something like this, having different guests, maybe of different even standards or levels in their career.
We had a bagpipe player
Yeah.
No
come
way.
and do an
That's cool.
AC/DC song. Which one did we do? We did.
We did Long Way to the Top.
Long Way to the Top with a
That's-
bagpipe.
Don't
We did a
ask-
Disney
Killer.
medley where I dressed up as a Disney princess. Yeah, it was a real hoot.
But we used to have, the idea was that the people, it would be kind of like an immersive musical experience where even though necessarily you wouldn't listen to blues,
Yeah.
and we're going to bring a blues guy in who's going to sit with his guitar and blow your mind. And it's going to come back to us and him in the dress in the Disney number. And then we'll
that's
go
good.
somewhere else. And and it was so much fun. We had so many great guests. Bucky from the Righteous Brothers joined us for our very
cool.
first one. And we've just had loads of little guests. Different idea. Just make it like a festival of music
Exactly.
and comedy.
We had a
and
game show segment. I mean,
Yeah,
we really just
just-
went all out because, again, we had so much time on our hands to create.
Right.
And we thank God that Ken gave us that medium to do that. And people came out, and we did it smart. We separated everybody by 6 feet. We did the guidelines. We hired a guy to make pizza because that's the only way we could do a show at that time.
Oh,
you had to serve
yeah,
food
food.
in order to do a show.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So we needed people opening and shutting their mouth
yeah,
without
exactly.
a mask
Without
in
a
order
mask.
to do a safe show.
Yeah, it didn't.
Don't ask me where
yeah.
these people came up with the rules at the time to do everything, but
That's insane.
we were able to do it, and it was fun. I hope we get to do it again.
I hope so too. I don't want to be there.
And we
I'll
want
be
you
a part
on
of it.
it.
Someday.
We want
Yeah, I
you
was
to do
gonna
it.
say I'll be a
You want
part
it.
of it.
I love
That'd be
it.
amazing. Chase, you just met Chase. He's an opera singer. He's producing this show.
We need all the help we can get.
Exactly.
You're hired.
You know?
He brings some legitimacy to this
Exactly.
to this operation.
Yes, he does. Yes,
That's what I'm here for, you know?
You know, listen to that voice. That's what I'm here for. You know,
Anything you guys want.
but it's you know what the Bronx Wanderers. Hey Chase, speaking of, do you have a clip? I want to promote that show.
I think
if you
that's
haven't,
the one clip I didn't get.
oh really?
I think I maybe gave him a picture. Did I give you a picture of anything Bronx related? Maybe, I don't know.
Nothing Bronx related, but I've got your Vinay mantra.
Oh yeah. I was also coming out with an album again during COVID because what are you gonna do?
Exactly. But you're
So-
talented. You can sit and do that.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's
yeah.
what's
So I
really
was coming
cool.
out with an album called Mountains of Ignorance, and one of the songs I did was called Mantra. Another song I did was Nowhere, where it was like this whole animated war thing that came out really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we got 56 views. We're really proud of that one. And again, because
There
I'm
it
really,
is,
I'm really
yeah.
good at the whole creating thing. I'm not good at the whole selling thing, and that's the hardest part for me. It's like now, in order to do music, you need to be everything.
Yeah.
You need to be the marketing guy, the video guy, the songwriting guy, the producing guy, the mastering guy, the distribution guy, the artwork guy, the video. I mean, it's
Yeah, no,
it's
I
do I
know.
really have to do it all? Can somebody else do something?
Well, it
And
is.
it's hard.
It is, and being that you're a creative person, that's what happens. It's a tough place. I'm still working on my record right now, and
we have the same
have
producer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it.
Tom Fletcher.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
and
great.
He's amazing, but you think he's Mutt Lang, and because he takes 2 years to do.
I'll tell you,
Dude,
for-
I love him. I love you,
For
Tom.
the 3 songs I did, I want to say it took like 4 to 6 months.
But he
to do
puts
it.
he just puts his love
puts
and
his whole
heart and
love
soul into it. It's never done. I'm like, you got to walk away from the painting.
Yeah.
And it's done. But I want to get to you, Jimmy. Jimmy, I want to hear your story because the thing about a hero's journey is we tend to find ourselves, we get a call to action, right? Yours was, your brother, you said it, your brother came home and he had $800 in tips and you're like, yo, that's it. I gotta do that. Like I gotta figure out a way to make that happen.
And I like the fact that I can make that money with them. I love
Exactly.
that.
You got to do it with
dad,
your brother and your father.
Why not?
And same thing, call to action and call to adventure. And people at home need to hear your story because of that.
Well, 2nd of May, 1978. Stob Hill Hospital in Glasgow. Little Jimmy was born, but little Jimmy was not so little, as he was nearly 11 pounds.
Oh, damn.
And I believe I was just under 2 feet in length.
Oh,
No shit.
God
wow.
bless your mother.
How tall are you
God bless
now?
her.
6'4".
Oh, damn.
But I have, honestly, I still have the record. My auntie goes and checks me. I still have the record for the longest baby born in my hospital. Still to
Wow.
this day. Yeah. So I suppose my story is so similar to Vin's in the sense that my mum was actually a child star. She had like records out in the 50s and 60s. Don't bother looking them up; they're all dreadful. But it was but listen, it was an earner back then.
Okay.
It's amazing what you can do with 3 chords, anyway. But at the same time, my dad was in the music business, and from the sort of age of 16, 17, was out playing the sax. He plays the saxophone, and they were out just playing in the bands. And you used to be sort of like in that era, like a gun for hire.
Okay.
Your horn section used to go around all together, and whoever it was at the time said, I need a horn section putting on this thing. You'd walk into the studio, they'd hand you the dots, you'd do it 2 or 3 times, and you went, But my dad, along the way, ended up playing with a band. He played with Long John Baldry, whose piano player was Elton John. Obla di obla da, when you hear the saxophone, life goes on, that's me dad.
No.
Yeah, and then and he, even though, I like to think of myself having a successful career, I was in like kind of Broadway musicals and things like this, and toured with a load of bands. We start the Tenors of Rock. We have a residency. We sell records in the Far East. We do all this kind of stuff. At Christmas, he always brings up to me that he's had a number 1, which I never have had. And he had a number 1 with the Beatles hit, which was Got to Get You Into My Life, which in Britain was a band called Cliff Bennett and the Rebel Rousers. And they took it higher than the Beatles. It went to number 1 in 68
That's
us. And
amazing.
So you get a couple of Jakes in my dad at Christmas.
Yeah.
He'll bring that. He'll bring the
What's
story.
a Jake?
Oh, it's like a little whiskey or something.
Okay.
Like a little drink, a little Jake.
Yeah, I knew. I assumed that's what it was, but I mean, I never heard of that term.
So I kind of grew up in exactly the same way, where you grow up in dressing rooms, you grow up in theatre, in TV studios, you grow up sleeping in the back of the car while your mum and dad are on stage. It's kind of like very similar to Vin. And in fact, I go in and guest with the Bronx Wanderers every now and then.
I see that.
And and I adore it. Listen, him and his family are the best. If ever my father is in town when I'm doing this, you can guarantee that after the show, Vin's dad and my dad literally just go off. They take a case of red wine with them, and they say, "Give us 5 hours," because they literally just fire stories. Because the environment and the working environment was so similar, even though different sides of the world, So yeah, that was kind of. So I was the same. I grew up with Elvis. I grew up with Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
I grew up with.
And Jim played all the major theaters in the West End in London, which is like the top theaters like in the world.
Yeah,
he was in
I've
all
heard
those
that.
plays, man.
So don't be humble over here. I want to hear this stuff. I want to inspire those.
Well, listen. When you grow up and you see your mum and dad doing what they're doing to such a high level, my sister's the talent of the family. She's like a big star in London in the West End and Broadway and stuff. She's like a leading lady, and she's amazing. And you definitely should look her up, Laura Denning.
Laura Denning. Okay.
But you just get to a point where, as a kid, you grow up. I always wanted to be a fighter or a footballer or a soccer player.
Yeah.
That was it. I had no aspirations to do anything else. I said, I can sing, I can play a little bit of guitar. I don't want to do that. I just want to have the glory of either knocking someone out or scoring the World Cup winning goal for Scotland. But it turns out I wasn't very good at either one of those things. So then I turned my attentions to my other great love, which is the sea. I love diving, I love fish and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh, wow.
And I met Doug, an American friend of mine, and he said, you want to be a marine biologist? I said, I'm so desperate. I love sharks. I love the ocean. I just love everything. And he said, look, dude, it's 6 years at university. I said, thanks ever so much, Doug.
Thanks ever so much.
I'm going to be a singer. And then you just find your way. You gig in pubs and clubs, and that's what we do. And you learn how to be good because you failed so many times, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then I went down to London. That's all I wanted to do, was be a legitimate kind of actor and stuff. And you go down and, you said about sleeping in your car. Yeah. I used to go down to auditions because I couldn't afford to. Blackpool, where I grew up, it's maybe like 4 hours from London. So, I didn't have any money. There was no money. And I was too proud to ask for anything. And I would go down, I would sleep rough in London the night before the audition to take the cheapest bus to get me down there to go and do the audition. And then obviously suck and then come back. But they're all kind of like life lessons. And they really teach you, do you actually want to do this or don't you? Because this is pretty hardcore. And then you figure out, I want to do this. And then you just plug on. And then eventually I got the first job in the West End, which was in the show Buddy, which is about Buddy Holly's story. Okay. And I played the Big Bopper in that for 2 years.
Oh, no way.
And then you go on, and I did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Jesus Christ Superstar. And
I played, what was a cool thing for me is I played that venue in Iowa, I think it was, that
Mason City.
Yeah.
Well, he died in Mason City, Iowa.
Yeah, they got on that plane to take off, and I played that venue, and they still had the phone booth that Richie Valens made the call. Yeah. And so you can't get in there.
So that'd have been Clear Lake.
Yes.
Clear Lake, Iowa.
Yes. Yeah. And so I played that venue on tour. We did a radio tour, and then the radio station asked us if we would go do a show there for the radio, for the fans. And I was like, yeah. And then when I walked in and found out where I was, I was like, what? And they have, big banners of them there, and
such a short life, but Buddy Holly was just so huge in the UK for some reason. Like all my UK friends love Buddy Holly,
right?
And I go like, wow, dude. Okay.
I mean, for me, is like Buddy Holly musically is, I think he's the greatest. I'm going to put it out there. Yeah. I think he supersedes anyone. That whole when Lennon said he made it cool to wear sunglasses, to wear glasses. And McCartney said without Buddy Holly, there would never have been a Beatles. I mean, you go, and then you think about all those bands that said, well, this would never have happened without the Beatles. And it's like, well
the Beatles never would happen.
It wouldn't happen without Buddy Holly. Exactly. No, it's really cool. But how did the Five Tenors of Rock how did that happen?
So we were all in musicals in London. I was at the time, I was in Billy Elliot. I was the fattest Billy Elliot you've ever seen in your life, but a check is a check, you know. No, but we were all in this environment. But yet again, it's like if you're artistic, you're a little bit of a maverick, a little bit of a loose cannon. You don't really do things the way that you're supposed to do them, and that's kind of why I think we all excel in our different fields. Let's say. But we were all in a musical, and it's all great. But then you're in that show for 8 shows a week. You have to do it exactly as they want you to do it. You sing the way they want you to sing. You deliver the line exactly. So there's no real freedom to do it. And then eventually the money, the circumstances, the physical toll it takes on your body, because there's a lot of dancing in that show. And I'm a big boy. So the body, you know, and you think about it at the end of the week, what money you've got left. And you're living in London, you're thinking, this isn't good. I've been doing this for 15 years and I've had some amazing experiences and very proud of it.
Right.
But I've got nothing to show for it. So it turns out all of these friends that we had that all loved the rock stuff, we just kind of got together and said, myself and Gareth Richards, we got together and we said, look, why don't we do something different? Let's do like a corporate act or something. We'll sing rock songs, we'll put cool harmonies in, because we all sing rock music,
right,
but we're all musically savvy enough to understand harmonies and how they work. We said, why don't we do that? Because no one does that.
Right.
And then we did it, and we had a couple of years of really struggling, just, like I said, just trying to get off the ground. And, you know, we do loads of great gigs. You know, we play to 120,000 people at Hyde Park, but there was no money in it.
Right.
Because you do it for exposure.
Exactly.
And as we all know, you can't pay your mortgage with exposure. But you do it because it's an amazing thing, and then you learn, and then you get to the next level. Then you go and wait for a promoter in Germany that doesn't pay you. That actually happened. Long story.
Fun.
But you eventually get to a point where you consistently work because you're good enough. And we used to start doing really well, especially in the Far East and Europe. We would do the stuff, and all of our singles did really well. We did Brothers in Arms, the Dire Straits classic. That was our kind of biggest hit.
Right.
And then you guys also did like a Britain's Got Talent, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
but we
that the
did.
thing?
We were out doing all of that beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And we did like Knights of Sidonia, the
I
Muse
have that
song,
record, yeah,
and
that you guys
and
did.
then from that we had kind of like minor success, and then you get the dreaded phone call from Simon Cowell saying, "Would you like to come on our TV show?" And when
Really?
and when you're thinking about it at the time, they make it sound like you're gonna win and you're gonna be One Direction and you're all gonna be like loaded, and of course it doesn't work that way. But we had a great experience. We had a great time on the TV, and but for some contractual issues, we may have done better than we did. But we decided we were going to step aside. I hope I put that correctly.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
You know, we've had a few lawyers' letters over the years for comments made on the radio.
Yeah, no worries.
But you know, we do it. But we always wanted to do Vegas, so we were over in America doing a corporate, and we had some friends. We said, "Listen, give us a show in Vegas. Give us a room, just a room. We're backing tracks or some guitars, whatever we have to do, just to say we've done it." Because it's a dream for, especially if you come from my background, which is a very variety-based, you get to Vegas, and we played the old Palms Lounge, which I don't believe is there anymore. I don't think it's there anymore.
I think it reopened, right?
Yeah, recently.
So I
This
don't know.
week or
Yeah.
something.
But we went in there, and we did this thing, and we were all hammered, because we thought, this is great. We're doing a gig in Vegas, boys. We're Frank Sinatra. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
And we had no money. We had no money. We were literally buying plastic bottles of booze from Walgreens. Like, we were literally scum. Right? However, here you talk about little quirks of fate. We worked out there, and we just wanted some people to see us. But of course, the entertainment directors at Caesars don't know who you are. MGM, you know, whatever it may be. And you're thinking, let's just enjoy it, boys. Have a few drinks, go home. And one of the guys that was helping us financially at the time, and I mean just basically helping us pay for the flights,
Yeah.
he and I had worked with Priscilla Presley.
Oh, wow.
And she has a floor, I believe, at the Aria. And she comes to Vegas all the time, but she doesn't do anything publicly.
Right.
She just comes for dinner, does a bit of shopping, goes back to Beverly Hills or, you know, wherever. So I reached out to her and said, we'd just done a play in London 6 or 7 months earlier. And I'd said, we're doing this thing, would you come? And her assistant kind of said, well, she's obviously I said, it's a crapshoot. I had no idea whether she'll come. But we got along really nicely, and she was really great. And then Kevin, our friend, said, he phoned me one day and he said, Priscilla's going to come. And of course you say, oh, that's great. She's not going to come, because that's not what famous people do. Well, so we're in the lounge at the Palms. There must be 6 or 7 people in front of us. We're out there. And then out of nowhere, the curtains opened at the back, and Priscilla Presley walked in with her friend. And she walked right down to the front. They ordered a bottle of wine, and she's sitting there, and she's clapping, and she's singing along, and she's giving me the thumbs up.
How cool!
And all the boys are looking at me as if to say, "Holy shit, how did we do that?" Now, because of that, we were doing the show in 2 halves. The first half, 45 minutes. Second half, 45 minutes. Because of that, the phone started to go. Then everybody, Johnny Katz, who was the local entertainment editor, lovely Johnny. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, certain people from Caesars just arrived. Then and then literally anybody who was anybody was in Vegas. When you'll never guess who's in town because she doesn't do events as such.
Right.
Then she just appeared, and then this place was packed. So because of that, people are going, "Who are this?" And she did something that will always remain so important to my personal life, but everyone else's. That after the show, Johnny Katz from the what's the newspaper called?
Review Journal.
The Review Journal.
Review
there you
Journal.
go.
Yeah,
I'm an avid reader.
He's
obviously.
a great guy.
But Johnny, who I didn't know at the time, went up to her and said, "Hey, Priscilla, it's Johnny Katz. Are you in town for an event or something to do with Elvis? Have we missed an anniversary? You know, what can you do?" And she said, "I'm not going to answer any questions other than questions on the tenors of rock."
No way.
And he said, "Well, can I get a quote?" She said, "Yes, these guys are wonderful. These guys are infectious." And we are still dining out on that to this day.
As you should.
How cool is that, man?
That's amazing. Look at this. I got the studio lined in Elvis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
very cool.
My band is Elvis Monroe.
Yeah.
That's not that. Matt Nelson actually named the band, and it was his way to get people to call me Elvis.
Yeah.
Because anyone who walks up to me and goes, "Hey, Elvis," I'm like, they don't know who I am, really. And I'll just answer, but my name is Bryan.
Yeah.
You know, the most boring name ever, but you know, that's cool.
But yeah, so like
that's amazing.
As a quirk of fate, that little thing, we got to know someone. We started pushing it. A year later, someone said, "Hey, do you want to come over and play 3 shows in an awful lounge somewhere?" Yeah, we'll do that. And then you meet another few people. Then you meet another few people. And we were out on the road in the Far East playing. We played big arenas over there because we were kind of well known. And then we came off the stage one night, and our manager said, "Jason Gasworth at Caesars Entertainment is on the phone, and he'd like to offer you Harrah's, and he'd like you to be the new residency at Harrah's."
See, I love that, man. When stars like that reach down from their clouds and and help.
Exactly.
Somebody that they don't have to help you, but they help you.
Yeah.
Tony Orlando did that for us. Danny
Really?
Aiello did. Oh, every night we have Tony introduce our show.
Yeah.
So when you come and see the
Really?
Bronx Wanderers, he talks about the Bronx.
We're sitting here in Sticky Paw Studios, and John owns this place. It's his.
Yeah.
His dad is Tony Orlando.
Yeah, man. That's
So
amazing.
here's
Full
that's the
circle
connection.
stuff. So it's
that's
wild.
amazing.
And you know, you appreciate guys like that reach down because they don't have to.
My story here in Vegas, we just landed a residency here. We were playing the M.
Yeah.
And M Resort, we did 1, 2, 3 shows, I think. And our third show, this woman comes in just to fix a relationship with the people that put on the show, have a glass of wine. And she looked at me and said, "I was trying to get out before you got started. Nothing you were going to do was going to be something I wanted to listen to." Those are her words. And I had my mohawk and, you know, the whole bit and sideburns and she got caught. And then she said, "I honestly thought that you didn't play long enough." She wanted to hear more. Yeah. And she happened to be, it was Monica. She was in charge over at Red Rock Station. So she swooped us from there, took us to Las Vegas, and we did, I think our second show. It was a once-a-month residency. And at the time, we had the drummer, Ryan McMillan from Matchbox 20 on drums, Danny Spree from Phil X and the Drills, and Phil's in Bon Jovi, and then Ben and I. And what was really cool is she put us on this Nashville Unplugged show. And there was this, actually, she put us on, it was our first country show with a guy named Eric Pasley. That went well, and she said, "Come back next week. We're putting you on this radio show for 95.5 The Bull," or
that's great.
You know, and so some big country stars were on it. You got Love and Theft, who had a #1 at that time, Randy Houser, and Montgomery Gentry. So what was crazy was we were the opening act, you know, and this guy taps me on the shoulder as I'm making a sandwich, you know, backstage, and the show's going to start in about an hour or so, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and he says, "Hey, are you Bryan?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "My name's Troy. This is my wife, Angie. We came to see the show." I'm like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. Thank you." And I turn around, and then I realized, "You're Troy Gentry of Montgomery Gentry, the headliner." And he's like, "Yeah, I was sitting in my room. I had no idea who you were. Who's this Elvis Monroe? The name was interesting, so I typed you up, started listening to stuff. I wanted to hear it in person."
Love it.
And so he said, "I'll be out at the soundboard when the show starts." He gave us our chance because when he came at the doorway, he blocked me from walking out and said, "Hey, I don't know what genre of music you're in," because I had the hair and whatever. He said, "But there's nobody like you in country music. The closest to you is me," he said. And he goes, "And I got to tell you, if you had a fiddle player in the band, it's game over." And the guy in the back of the room goes, "I'm a fiddle player." And Ben taps him on the shoulder. "That's nice. Thanks." And no joke, swear. And then the guys from Love and Theft turned and said, sorry. They said, "Do you know who that is?" And Ben goes, "The cameraman?" Because he had a camera. He was filming everything. They're like, "No, that's David Pichette from Emerson Drive. That's a Grammy-nominated band. And if he's saying, he just saw you play, and if he's saying, 'I play fiddle,' you let him play fiddle." He ended up joining the band.
Wow.
But then Troy started putting us on as an opening act. Whenever he could, he would hit me up and say, "Hey, are you guys available? We're in this city," or, "We're coming into town. Will you open?"
That's great.
And the saddest part was, I want to say it's a couple years ago, he had passed away. His helicopter was going into a show in New York, and we were on the road when he got the call. And it breaks my heart, but I'll never forget him stepping up and giving us that endorsement, that you had Troy Gentry endorsing us and saying, "Hey, I believe in these guys."
Huge.
And
You need that stuff.
and then the Love and Theft, we toured with them, and then next thing you know, it's more and more start coming in. Joe Nichols, who is as country could be, taking us out on the road, and we don't sound like him. He sounds like Merle Haggard. He's amazing.
Yeah, well, look at what Bon Jovi does. Bon Jovi does the same thing. When
You did that show, didn't you,
did.
here in
That's
town?
not why I said that.
No,
But
but I knew you did.
Hang on. Wow.
That's not why I said it, though.
Wow.
I just love the fact that he's a rock star and he can have anybody in the world open for him. But what he does is he has a contest in every city through a radio station, whatever it is. And whoever wins the radio contest, unsigned band, you could play an arena opening for the biggest rock, one of the biggest rock
How
stars
was that,
in the
by the
world.
way?
By the way, I got to do that.
Yeah.
So you know who it is? Johnny Katz, man, reached out to me and said, "Dude, there's this contest in town. Why don't you submit your music to open for Bon Jovi?" And I was like,
I was in that
when is ever gonna
contest.
happen?
I lost
Were you
to
really?
you.
I beat you out?
Yeah, it was I had 8,000 votes.
No way.
8,000 votes. And I went, "I'm going to get this." And then I'm like, "Who's Vinny? Where did he come from?"
Actually, that's Vincent Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Vincent John
Anthony.
But again, so the reason they had to have people vote for you, and the only reason why I probably beat Bryan and Elvis Monroe was because again, I was in the Bronx Wanderers for 17 years. I had tens of thousands of fans in this thing, and they voted me on, and I got to play T-Mobile Arena.
It was amazing,
and
dude.
it was
When-
one of the highlights of my life.
Afterwards, after I met you, I was I went from, "I hate that guy," to, "Fuck, I can't hate that guy. I love that guy."
He does that to you. When I literally the first year that we were in Vegas,
That's my MO. Everybody always hates me first.
for some reason, they like to in our business anyway. They like to pit you against someone that's either in a similar show or a similar size of show, or whatever it may be. And I've never really been into that at all. So imagine we're in the same bracket, and I mean, you have your big headliners like your Bruno Mars, but then the next bracket below, is Tenors of Rock and the Bronx Wanderers. We play rooms that maybe 300 or 400 rather than 3,000 or 4,000. We know where we are. Mm-hmm. But there's always this thing about, well, who's the most successful medium-sized show in Vegas? And I genuinely want everyone to succeed.
It's Menopause the Musical, by the way.
Yeah.
They just celebrated their 6,000th show.
Wow.
Funny thing is,
17 years.
Funny thing is, and there's bring it onto something connected with us all. After the shootings, and when we did that concert at the Venetian,
Which is that photo.
Which is that
Can
lovely
you catch
photo over
that
there?
over here? There's a photo over
Wow.
here on the wall.
so that was you and
That's
you and Ben.
Nicole. Yeah, Ben on the right.
That was that show?
Yeah. and-
Wow.
So
Yeah, I was on that thing too.
So yeah, this is what I'm
Wow.
saying. So what happened was we turned up at this thing. We were very new in Vegas. We'd only been in Vegas. We'd only been open about 9 months. You guys had probably been about a year.
About a year, like not even.
So we
yeah.
go in. We don't really know each other. So we go in. We're as British people, we're naturally quite reserved, quite quiet, sit in the corner.
Yeah.
And then of course, the artist formerly known as Vinay comes on the stage, right? And then of course noises, no microphones required.
I'm loud. I
And I'm
talk
like-
with my hands.
I'm going,
I can't freaking help it.
I'm going to use
This
this
is how
guy.
I do
I'm
it.
going to use this idiot. What's going on? And then all these years later, he's my best pal. We have shows together. I couldn't.
amazing.
His family are the best, and it's like you said, it's so funny that
I
that
met-
show connects us all.
Wow.
Wow.
I met you. I didn't meet you on that day. It was like chaotic, and
a
they
lot.
were pulling us around to like take photos and do
That's
the
right,
stuff
yeah.
on the red carpet downstairs and stuff. And they asked me. They said, "Hey, you're going to close the show,"
Yeah.
and I went, "What?"
That's so
like
cool,
Jewel
man.
was on right before us,
Yeah.
and that was the moment, the very first time in my career that phones came out. Like we're playing that song that I had written the month before with Ben, and it's called The Fight,
Yeah.
right? And so I play that song after the shooting, and that's November 4th.
Yeah.
And I pulled Nicole,
Yeah.
the two girls that I had grabbed in the shooting,
Yeah.
who Nicole, Rufino is like the love of my life. I lucked out and it like happened. But that moment, it was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Phones came out, and then Jewel comes walking out behind me, and then you come. Everyone starts walking out, and their phones
Yeah.
are in the air, and I was handing mics to.
I
you
remember
guys,
because
to you
we were
guys
yes, that's right. I
singing
remember.
with me.
And ironically, it's so funny how it all goes around in a circle. That event was organised by Ken Henderson.
Ken Henderson.
Yeah.
That's when I met him. That's what I'm saying. We've
That's
been
the very
friends ever
first time
since.
we met him, and
Same.
yeah. But you went out. I remember meeting you and Ben at the sound check, and we were just chatting away, and then you told me the story of why you were doing what you were doing, and wow, it was just because that was a very
You were at the festival at the Route 91 thing?
Yeah, there's a whole story. That's how I met him.
real?
The shooting, when the shooting happened and everything, I'd come from backstage, and Ben get hit in the arm. People go down in front of me. People go down behind me. Even the young man I took a photo with lost his life immediately behind me, and I had just taken a picture with him. I got pulled away, and I ended up going back and grabbing Nicole. And Nicole, I called them my echoes because
Yeah.
they both had the same name, and I just met them. I led them. I just looked at them and said, "I'll get you. We're getting out of here. I'll get you out." And they stayed with me the whole time. Put him in a refrigerator, lifted him out of the refrigerator, put him over the fence, and put people over in the refrigerator over the wall. They helped me put people over the wall, and then those that I couldn't get out, I couldn't get them out. I couldn't get them over the wall, so I let them out by foot with 3 other people. And everything that we saw, and I have nightmares about it, but I promised that I'd get him out, and I got him out. I didn't get scared till I got home, but I met the love of my life that night. So it's one of those things. I believe that if that night wouldn't have happened, I still would have met her. So I would trade it for that and take the risk of
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
But it's like this
Wild.
bittersweet.
My
kind of
girlfriend
thing.
was working it, and that's the one day that I didn't drive to work. And I drive to work every day. I have no idea. I might have done like a interview with my dad, whatever it was, and we went to work together that day. And I told Liz, "You got to come and pick me up." She's like, "I can't. I'm working 91." I go, "Don't make me get in an Uber," because I'm one of those people where like I don't want to be around society, and I don't
Right.
want to get in some random person's car. Like I'm very weird.
Right.
So I made her leave work, and she's driving to get me. And then we put on, we see a million cops, all that thing. And she looks at me and goes like, "You got me out of there." And I'm like,
Wow.
and she's freaking out, calling all her friends that she knew that were there. And I thank God she's okay. But again, when you move out to a town that you don't know, and that's one of the first things that happens.
Yeah.
It's like, again, look at all the people that it brought together, like
Yeah.
in
I-
random
yeah.
ways that we
yeah.
wouldn't be brought together.
I always say, I genuinely, like, it's the first time I met Bryan, first time I met Ben. We did that event, and there's this idea that Vegas is a very superficial, kind of like fun palace for people just to get drunk and vomit on the street type of thing. That's the image that a lot of people have of it. But that event, that whole thing, the inspiration, and I don't really get soft on stuff like this. I'm kind of, it's not really my way of being, but the following day, I've never seen anywhere come together
So-
like
yeah.
this town did. And it was so amazing. that we were phoning. We have a friend of ours, Pirate Mike, who you'll have worked with at Harrods. And Mike's a former Marine. So not a former Marine, excuse me, retired Marine. And he was working with us on the crew, and he just kind of went into Marine mode. You know what I mean? It never leaves you. And he said, look, and we said, we don't know where to go, what to do. We can't give blood being British. And we said, can we give blood? Can we do anything? I said, there's a load of big, strong lads. Can we go down and fix something, help someone, put anyone up? And he was kind of like leading the charge from his, his people. And he said, look, they need water, they need this, they need phone cables, they need, maybe a hot meal, whatever it may be, the people that were still with us, and then obviously the people that were still in hospital. But the way that it all came like everything was united was just...
Yeah, people in their cars had pickup trucks were going back and forth,
It was
getting the
mind-blowing.
wounded, bringing them to the hospital, regular people.
Beyond
You want to talk about
heroic.
a hero's journey?
Exactly.
Those are heroes came that day.
I say,
and you're
say
one
that.
of them because of the story you just told me.
Thanks.
I'm blown away by hearing what you did. I mean,
it's insane. What's weird is that our story, it's been told. If you were to Google my name, you see it everywhere, all over the world. And I've done interviews all over the world about it. But there were so many people that when I hear their story, I'm blown away. And the people that afterwards, like that, the way our city came together, I was walking through a grocery store and a guy walks up to me and shakes my hand. I broke down in strangers' arms. A guy bigger than me sees me, and days after, I'd been up for days doing interviews, and it was the way that it helped me, I think, because to me, it's still a movie that I lived, and I see it like a scene, but it happened, and I wasn't bulletproof, and I was almost like acting like I was. So when my dad asked me, "Were you afraid?" and I started getting emotional and scared, that's when I realized I wasn't bulletproof, But anyway, so it did bring us together, and that night, like that event that I didn't even know you were on that event too. That night, we all came together. I remember waking up the next morning, and I'm on the cover of the newspaper with Jewel and Nicole singing the song that we wrote called "The Fight." But speaking of, we'll take this in another direction. Speaking of music, because I got musicians sitting here, and I want you guys, before we wrap this up.
Musician, singular.
Jim's a real singer.
That's all him.
Definitely, I want you to play an original for me, man.
Oh God! After that,
please?
after you on the front page with Jewel,
No,
you want me to do a song, man?
Bro, you played with Bon Jovi.
Oh God!
And
you really want me to do a song?
I do, please. You'll be the first on this podcast to do music.
Good. So it can only go up from here.
Yes.
Okay, good. That makes me feel a little
So
better.
you got to set this song up for us too, as well. Vincent John, if you listen, if you're not Vinay, but Vincent John
It's whatever.
at home.
My family calls me worse.
Just to let you know, Paul McCartney's on next week, so, no pressure, dude.
All right, so what about this song? So this is actually it's not even made yet. It's a song I'm working on with actually Jimmy's drummer, Tim Sorbs, who's a
great guy,
amazing
great
You know
drummer.
Tim? Yeah, Tim's a great.
Timmy's
He's
the
a
best.
great everything. Plays the drums, keys, everything. And he's been releasing a lot of songs. And I called him up. I said, dude, I got this idea that came out of me really quickly, and I want to get it done quickly. And he's like, yeah, man. What's it about? And I go, look. Me and my girlfriend we're fighting a lot. We're burnt out. We're doing a million different things for a million people. Because again, when the world went down, everything went down. You had like Jim said, we had respite for a little bit. And then the minute it all comes back, it's like 50 projects going on, 50 things. I haven't seen my girlfriend in 3 weeks. Like I hope she's good.
I have.
Yeah. Do you want her new number? I got it.
So I wrote this song because I was just sad, man, because like I missed her. And it came out in 5 minutes. And
Those are the best kind.
yeah,
Honestly.
So I guess this is the first time I've ever played it.
Yes,
And,
I like that. Thank you.
I guess it's a cool thing for a hero's journey. And,
Yes.
don't hate me if I mess it up. You want me to do the whole song, or I'll just do like a verse? and
No, I
chorus?
want you
That's
to do the
boring.
whole song.
You want me to do the whole damn
Yeah,
song?
please.
It's 9
man.
minutes long.
All right, let's do it. with self-doubt as I watch you pour your heart out, fumbling about, no calm in a storm. It's always this or that, everyone else's crap. Let's get away from it all. I'll watch your favorite show, even though I know I'm probably too late for that. I'm trying to grow up like you. I'm also so fed up, 'cause it takes two, yeah, it takes two. Your light shines like the sun. You give your light to everyone. We should save our sun. With you, I know I've won. This time is our time, and our time can last. I've grown old and gone cold. That time sure went fast. I'm trying to grow up like you. I'm also so fed up, 'cause it takes two, yeah, it takes two. Your light shines like the sun. You give your light to everyone. We should save our sun. With you, I know I've won. Your light shines like the sun. You give your light to everyone. We should save our sun. With you, I know I've won.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my gosh.
Thanks so much.
That was awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thanks a lot. I love you. Thank you.
Woo!
Jim will do some killer cool
Dude,
harmonies on that.
Oh
Make it sound better.
man. Hey, well, don't put that away.
Okay.
He's not getting out of this without
Good.
singing.
Good.
You're not getting away without singing. Seriously, you guys have made this so special for me.
Thanks for having us, man.
You know, it's one thing, you know, we know a lot of people have podcasts and whatnot. Like we talked about this before. I just wanted to have fun with this. I wanted to have my friends. I want to have the people that inspire me. And you guys inspire me. You guys are out there doing this all the time. And it means a lot, the compliments that you've given me, and I appreciate it. But honestly, I follow you guys. You're my friends. I reach out. I'm impressed.
Oh, go
that
on.
was
Go on,
exactly. That was hell of impressive.
I love
Your girl
man.
has to love that song
and we're
too.
happy that you're bringing stories like this out into the world, and,
No,
and it's
thank
cool
you.
that you're giving us a platform to do that.
I appreciate it too. But you know, again, thank you. And You're not going to get away without singing a song. And before we're done, I got to make sure I make you read this because he's got the cool accent.
He does.
But I have a friend, one of my best friends is a guy named Chuck Capella. He's like a brother to me. And he, you guys are you're the East Coast, and you got the cool accent. And I'm just boring Oregon. That's where I was born. But Boston was always a cool thing. So I was going to make you read this before we get done today. And we got to call my mom. Yeah, you can read. You got to read this. This is the sign. He gave this to me as a gift once. He goes, "You want to talk Boston? Here you go." So you're gonna have to read this.
So I parked the car in Harvard, yeah, and we take the road to the North End for the supper. I had some chowder and a beer. After that, we got these wicked big ice cream cones with Jimmy's. Then we went to the Sox game. It was a pisser. When I finally get back to the car, I find out some cop gave me a freaking parking ticket. But anyways, I love Boston. That's pretty
dope.
good. I do my Boston accent.
That was dope. What would you sound like doing that? I want to know.
I certainly can't do that nonsense.
No.
So I can do it as Brian Blessed from Flash Gordon.
There you go.
So I parked in the car at Harvard Yard, and we take it to the North End for supper. I had some chowder and a beer. After that, we get to do these wicked big ice cream cones with Jimmy's. What's a Jimmy?
I don't know.
It's the same thing as a Jake.
I feel I should... Oh, really?
I have no idea.
Then we went to the Sox game. That was a pisser. When I finally get back to the car, I find out some cop has given me a freaking parking ticket. But anyways, I love Boston.
He wins.
Gordon's alive!
That was awesome. Oh my
Jeez.
But
god.
this is why I hang out with him as much as I possibly
dude.
can, and I hope I get to hang out with you more. But you're always
you
on the
will.
you're always on the damn road.
No,
you know?
but I'm doing the record now, and
proud of
I'm
you.
working with. Thank you. I'm working with Tom, so I'm here for a while.
Good, well, good.
I want to come to a show.
Good, I'd love to have you, man.
Thank you, man. I want to come to the show. I gotta
on in,
man. Come out and see you. I want to meet your dad. I want to meet your brother. I want to meet your band.
Have fun. No refunds. What do you want to sing? What do you want to do, man? Do you want to do?
Let's do Bohemian Rhapsody all the way through. Let's do
I can't do it on the friggin' acoustic guitar.
what about Brian Setzner?
We can do Brian Setzer.
Let's do some Brian Setzner.
All right, you want to do the first verse?
I'll do the first verse.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, my baby and me went out late Saturday night. I had my hair bound high, my baby looked just alright. I pick you up at 10, I have you home by 2. Mama don't know what I could ask of you. I said, that's alright. Looking as good looking at me. Alright.
Well, we found a little place that really didn't look that bad. I'll have a whiskey on the rocks and change of $1 for the jukebox. Well, I put a quarter into that can, but I ain't played it. Well, the disco man, come on, pretty baby, let's get out of here right away. We're gonna rock this town, rock it inside out. We're gonna rock this town, make them scream and shout. Rock, 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 man, rock.
Rock till you Bobby gonna rock it till you rock. We're gonna rock this town, rock it inside out. Woo! Hey! Yeah!
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That was good, man. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
welcome,
That was
Bryan.
awesome. Hey, there's a segment in this before we go on every one of these. I call my mom.
Yeah?
And I never know what she's going to do, whatever she's going to say. It's insane.
Oh, I'm excited.
But you know what? That was Brian Setzer from Stray Cats, right?
Yeah.
I got a story. So my 21st birthday, I was working at Jerry's Famous Deli in Studio City, California, right? And I was friends with a couple of, there's a strip club story, and then there's another story, no joke, and with these rock guys. And it wasn't my kind of music. I was into U2 and Depeche Mode and bands like that,
Nice.
and then stuff like this and old 50s and country music. My dad was a country singer. So when I met these guys, don't think anything of it. And I ended up going to a place called Club Spice with Janie Lane from Warrant. He takes me out for my 21st birthday. He's like, you're turning 21, let's go.
Wow.
And so my 21st birthday, he goes, no, this isn't the room there's like 2,000 people in this room. We're going to a private room. And we walk in there, and Brian Setzer's playing in this private room for about 200 people, maybe 150, 200 people. And he's opening for Billy Idol. And he goes, happy birthday. And I'm like, wow. Whoa. And before he passed, when I had the chance to hang out with him and stuff, and before he passed away, he still remember that time I took you to 21st birthday? I was like, wow,
That's
yeah,
a great
dude.
21st birthday.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Wow.
But I got to call my mom. We got to say hi.
Get her on the phone.
Her name's Terry. Her real name's Helen. So if you want to get on her bad side, you can say, hello, Helen. But yeah.
Why?
I don't want to do that.
Why Terry from Helen?
It's Teresa, Helen Teresa.
Oh, okay, so it's part of her.
That's her middle
She
name.
does the Vincent John thing. Good for her.
Exactly.
Good for her.
Well,
she's
she's
a smart
gonna
lady.
be a symbol soon. You know,
She's a trendsetter.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's my mom. So let's see here. We'll get her on speaker. You got a picture of my mom there? Yeah.
Please leave your message.
Really, mom? really, mom?
No. Listen,
I think that was the FU button, man.
I'll tell you what.
Not even now.
If she doesn't answer,
Please leave your message for.
we should leave her a message. We should
In
read
Boston.
this again.
Yeah.
Read that again in a Boston accent.
I
She'll have a clue.
I bet my mom has no clue.
That's great.
Come on, mom. Are you serious right now?
Please leave your message.
Mom, you're killing me.
She's the real hero.
We should
prank her.
putting up with this amazing guy.
You know?
We should prank
She's
your
the real
mom. We should phone from the IRS. Hello, this is.
We should. This is.
Please leave your message.
All right, mom.
You owe us a phone call with your
Yeah.
mommy next time.
Okay, here we go.
141920.
All right, mom. Your phone number just went out on the internet, and so you missed the call. Was it in your back pocket? What? I love you. Say the boys will say hi to you real quick.
I told them that they should have put you on the payroll way sooner and for way more money, because that's what would have made you pick up the phone. But I'm upset that I'm not getting to meet you this time, but I'm going to meet you next time. So I really hope we get to have a wicked time next time, Mom. Wicked time.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm not going to read it.
Hey Terry, this is Jimmy. He said, absolutely don't call you Helen. That will get us on the bad side of you. We hope to speak with you soon.
Oh well.
Love you, Tara.
Ter.
Bye, mom. I love you. Bye.
Tara, I've known her for years.
Yeah.
Tara, how's it going? How you doing?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I hope we get to meet
by
her.
the way,
I hope we get to meet her
Can
eventually.
I ask?
Yes.
Who were your guests on your first few shows that you did?
The first one we had the band Otherwise.
Oh, I know. Okay.
The rock band
Yeah,
Otherwise.
yeah.
And they were doing a show in town, so they came on that
Amazing.
Monday, and they shot music videos in their old garage where they started their band.
Yeah.
So it was
They
a
do some great stuff.
perfect story. My second guest was Bryant Boone, and Bryant Boone's a Navy pilot, and when he saw the name of this, all of a sudden he started sending me all this literature and videos on the book The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell.
Right.
And it's basically, he just broke it down. So he was a great guest as a second guest to come on and talk about, these different places. I wanted to hear his story, like how to become a Navy pilot and then a private plane. And he owns a VR company now.
Wow.
And does, shoots VR stories. And
Well,
so
I'm
it was
happy
really
you've
amazing.
lowered standards enough
You
to have
know,
me and
hey,
Jimmy
about
on.
to say
I
the same
really
thing.
appreciate
You
it.
guys,
It's literally
stop.
it's starting to slip.
No, you guys, thank you so much for having me. We're going to go out with, I want to say thank you, and I hope that we inspire those listeners out there. I found my heroes, in magazines and music. It was one of those things where I had to leave where I grew up and chase after the thing that I really wanted. And here I am sitting at this table with you guys. So this is Brian Hopkins, and this is a Hero's Journey podcast. Tell your friends. Thanks, guys.
Dream, and I believe it's coming around to me.